Welcome back to another BJC past paper review. Today we're going to review a general science paper, and this is a paper 1 from the year 2018. Again, before you start this examination, always remember to write your school number, your candidate number, your initials, and your surname. Again, read through the instructions carefully before you start the examination, and also follow the directives of the examiner. Now let's go into question number 1, and this question reads, which class of organism is cold-blooded with scales and gills? So let's just say scales and gills. And once we see scales and gills, we know this is a fish. A point to note that birds and mammals are the only warm-blooded organisms. So a pigeon, a duck, right? A dolphin, a whale, human beings, cats, dogs, they're all warm-blooded because they're either bird or mammals. Let's go to question number 2. For question number 2, it said which cell make up human blood? And so let's quickly label these. And so this W structure here will be smooth muscles. And X here represent a white blood cell, but specifically it is a phagocyte. Why phagocyte? Because you see the irregularly shaped nucleus. And the other structure at the bottom right here, which is structure Y, this is a red blood cell. And Z, it is a neuron, but specifically it is a motor neuron because the cell body is at the end. All right, so the two parts that make up the blood, or the two types of cell that make up the blood, is X and Y. So you could go to where X and Y is our option. Well, they have Y and X, so therefore C is the correct answer here. Now let's go to the next question. It said, which science is a study of plants? And plants here, botany is the correct answer. Botany is a study of plants. Astronomy is a study of the universe or the celestial objects or bodies. Chemistry is a study of matter and how they react with each other. Zoology is a study of animals. And number 4, it said which organism is an endangered species in the Bahamas, and this is the Bahama parrot. Now question number 5. For this question, it said the picture shows a plant growing in water. Use a picture to answer question 5 and 6. All right, so let's give a quick labeling right here. A is the leaf of the plant, B is the stem, and C is the seed, while D is the roots. All right, so let's go to the question. For question number 5, it said which structure is the seed? And you see seed right here is C. Okay, so you could just highlight that real quick. So option C is the seed. It's a transport. Number 6 transports food and water to all other structures of the plant. And this will be the phloem. But the phloem is not shown on this picture, but the phloem is found in the stem. So the stem is where the phloem vessel will be found. Point to note is that the xylem vessel transport water and dissolve minerals. Okay, so B is our correct answer right here. Let's go to question number 7. In question number 7, so where does peristalsis takes place? And peristalsis takes place in the esophagus and in the intestines. However, the esophagus or the intestines are not shown here, but what you see here, the alimentary canal. The esophagus and the intestines, they are part of the alimentary canal. So alimentary canal is our answer. For question number 8, it said what is hypertension? And hypertension is high blood pressure. So B is our answer right here. High glucose is diabetes. Lack of iron is anemia. And lack of iodine is goiter. All right, let me just quickly put them on for you real quick. So High blood sugar, it is a condition called diabetes. All right, lack of iron is anemia. All right, and lack of iodine is called goiter. All right, so just to make a point of that. All right, so great. Now, number 9, it said, which action result in the chemical digestion of food? And chemical digestion of food involves enzymes. So here's the breakdown of food into nutrients by enzymes. Yes, A is our correct answer. Chewing of food in the mouth, that is mechanical digestion or physical digestion. Chewing of food in the stomach is also a mechanical process or physical process, or physical digestion. Peristaltic wave of the alimentary canal, that is just the movement of food, that's not digestion. All right, let's go to number 10. It said, during which process in an is an ovum released from the ovary, and a release of ovum from the ovary is called ovulation. So number 10 going to be C. Now for number 11, it said, which organ nourishes and maintains the fetus during pregnancy? And let's go down a little bit more. And this is the placenta. So the placenta is the organ that develops inside of the uterus to supply the fetus with nutrients and also to take away waste as well. The amniotic sac, that is the protective sac that will contain amniotic fluid, and so that will protect the fetus from shock. The umbilical cord is what will connect the placenta to the fetus, and the ovary is what will release the egg and also produce hormones. For number 12, we say the diagram shows a human body system, and so question number here is which system is shown. And here, if you notice, you see a heart. So once you see the heart, then you know that this is the circulatory system. So let's quickly highlight that one, the circulatory system. All right, so be careful with the nervous system. All right, because this is showing your heart is connected to those lines, which then those lines represent blood vessels. But question number 13 is which fuel is classified as an alternative fuel? And this will be ethanol, because coal, kerosene oil, petroleum oil, they are non-renewable resources or sources of fuel. Ethanol is renewable. You could make that from sugarcane by fermentation process, or matter of fact, can make it from any fruits once it's undergo fermentation. But generally, it is made from sugarcane in large quantities. Number 14. Which phrase states the law of conservation of energy? And the phrase that depicts the law of conservation of energy should state that energy cannot be created nor destroyed, but can be converted from one form to the other. So therefore, B is our correct answer. You cannot make energy. You cannot destroy energy. The only thing we can do with energy is to change the form. Okay. Number 15. It said, which equation represents photosynthesis? And photosynthesis, to remember that, photosynthesis requires carbon dioxide, requires water, and it produces oxygen and glucose. So option D is our correct answer. Now for question number 16, it said, which of the following does not transmit sound, and sound cannot travel in a vacuum? All right, so that will be our correct answer there. For question number 17, it said, which soil layer is made up mainly of organic matter? And before I go into answering that question, let's first label all these layers. And so the top layer, so this is the soil in water, and they will separate in different portions. So the top layer is called humus, and humus is rich in organic matter. So that will be your correct answer. Part B here will be water. That's the water they're showing. And then C will be our clay. And then D will be sand and gravel. All right, so depending on what they show, the matter of fact, they could separate the bottom layers. So, the heavier one, like the gravel, will be at the bottom, or small stones, then the sand will be on top of it. All right, and so again, the part that is rich in organic material or matter is the humus. And so humus is very rich in nutrients, and that will be the top layer. All right, number 18. It said, what is a solution? And a solution is a mixture of a solute and a solvent. And so option A will be your correct answer here, because they say a solute dissolved in a solvent. Option B say a solute that does not dissolve in a solvent. That's not correct. All right, that will be definitely a suspension. And the amount of solute that can dissolve by a solvent, that will cause what they call a concentration. And the amount of solute suspended, again, it is like option B, that is a suspension. All right, so question number 19. It said, what is the importance of the ozone layer of the Earth atmosphere? And it really to protect us from the UV radiation. So A said absorbs solar ultraviolet radiation, so that sounds good. B is it burns meteoroids in the atmosphere. No. Make radio communication possible. No. Supports satellites in the atmosphere. No. So A is definitely the correct answer. All right. Question number 20, and we're halfway there. It said Brian found some rusty nails on the ground near a construction site. Which type of change did the nails undergo? The nail has been rusted, so that means it reacts with water or moisture and oxygen. And so this is a chemical process, very hard to reverse. All right, and so let's go now to question number 21. All right, just to make a point here, like metamorphosis. Metamorphosis is referring to organisms that change from one stage to another, such as a caterpillar into a butterfly. A physical change is simply just change probably the shape of the object. All right, and so a physical change can easily be reversed, like for example a mixture. Sublimation, when you move from a solid into a gaseous state without going through the liquid state. Now, question number 21 is which statement about acid and bases is not true? Say it is not true. All right, so acids and bases react with metals. That's a true statement there. Acids and bases, their pH values, and you need to know that acids is below 6 and bases they are above 7, and 7 is neutral. So that's also correct. Part C is acid and bases are corrosive substances. Indeed, they are. So D now say acids and bases are hard solid compounds. They are usually solutions. So D is not true. All right, so let's jump to question number 22. It said, what is produced when sound waves are reflected from a solid surface? And when sound waves are reflected, we get what they call an echo. So echo is the correct answer there. For question number 23, it said, which force causes wear and tear on the tires of vehicles and the soles of our footwear? And this is because you're walking and you're rubbing against another surface, and this is caused by friction. So when surfaces rub together or objects rub together, you cause friction. So the frictional force is what is causing the tires on the car to tear and wear, and also our shoes eventually will rub right down because of frictional force. All right, question number 24. And the question number 24 is that the diagram shows the appearance of a pencil in a clear glass of water. And here's which characteristic of light is shown. And the pencil appears bent because light is moving from air into the water, which are two different medium. And so therefore here it is refraction. Let's go to the next question. Question number 25. It says Amy is standing 75 centimeters in front of a plane mirror, how far is Amy's image behind the mirror, and the object and the image, they have the same distance in front and behind the mirror. So whatever distance she is in front of the mirror is the same distance the object is behind the mirror. Okay. So if you notice you touch the mirror, the image will also touch the mirror as well, right? So therefore, if she was 75 meters in front, let's go back to say exactly, yes, I think it's 75, yeah. She's 75 centimeters in front of the mirror. So therefore, the image will be exactly 75 behind the mirror as well. All right, so great. Number 26 now. For question number 26, it say when a piece of metal is heated, it expands. What happens to the metal once it cools? And this is contract. So it will contracts. It contracts. All right, 27. Amanda is measuring the length of a leaf for an investigation. And here it asks, what is the length of the leaf? And so I'll look at it this way. If you consider the leaf to start from right here, this is 1.5, right? And so if you think about 1.5 and then it goes all the way to 12. So if you look at the leaf blade itself, it will be 12 minus 1.5, and that will give you 10.5. But if you should consider the entire leaf from the apex all the way down to the petiole, that will be from 0 to 12, that will be 12. So we have two possible options right here, 12 or 10.5. Okay, so let's see exactly what they will give us as the option. So again, if it's just from the leaf, just measure the leaf blade alone, it is 10.5, which would mean 1.5 from 12, or it could be the entire leaf from the petiole all the way to the apex, and that will be 12 centimeters. All right, so let's see which is the option right here. We do not have 10.5, so therefore we have 12. Yes, so C is the correct answer there. All right, let's now jump to 28. And question number 28 is air is a mixture of gases. What is the percentage of carbon dioxide in the air? And so carbon dioxide is very low. It is about 0.03 or up to 0.04. So D is our correct answer. For question number 29 is which phrase describes current electricity? And current is the flow of electrons. So let's see exactly which fit this category right here. A is the attraction of a body toward the center of the earth. No, that is caused by gravitational force. Attraction that pulls two objects together or towards each other. That could be magnetism, or it could be dust charges. And C said flow of charged particles through a conductor. Yes, this is good. Our repulsion or attraction of charged particles, and that again is simple by charges. All right, so great. So number 30. For question number 30, it said which plants have roots, nodules, and plants with root nodules, they are called legumes. So let's make a note right here. They are called legumes. And legumes include peas and beans, peanuts, and so on. All right, so this will be D, which is peas is a legume. So peas, beans, peanuts, they are leguminous plants. All right, and just a point to note about leguminous plants, they contain nitrogen fixing bacteria in these nodules, and they will make nitrates available to the plant. The question number 31 is said the diagram shows the organisms in a food chain. And so we have the sun, which is not an organism, but it provides the energy for the plant, and plant is a producer. Let's make a note right there. The plant is a producer. B represent the caterpillar, snake, and the owl. So they are all consumers. And just to make a point right here again, so they are consumers. The caterpillar is a herbivore. Snake and owl, they will be carnivores. And a matter of fact, just to make a note that the caterpillar is a primary consumer. Snake is a secondary consumer. The owl is a tertiary consumer. C is showing you pretty much decomposers, right? Or detritus. So they are decomposers. All right, so they are decomposers there. All right, so the question now reads though, what is the producer in the food chain? And this is D. So let's highlight D. D is our producer, which is the plant. All right, the question number 32 said, which row describes the function of xylem and phloem vessels? Again, the xylem will transport water and mineral salts or dissolved minerals, while the phloem will transport plant food, especially sucrose or sugars. And so it said absorb light. That is not true. The chlorophyll will absorb light, or the chloroplast, or the leaf could be answer right there. Provide protection for soft inner layers. No, that's the cell wall or the bark of the plant. Regulates the rate of transpiration. That will be stomata. But D is to transport water for xylem, and phloem is to transport sugar to storage organs. Okay, and the sugar that is being transported here is sucrose. If you see sucrose in the exam, you know it is a sugar. All right, or you may see the word plant food as well. Now, question number 33. And question number 33 reads, now, what is the boiling point of pure water on the Celsius scale? And this is 0 degrees Celsius. Water will, this is 100 degrees Celsius. It freezes at 0 degrees Celsius. So let's just take this back off. All right, so it freezes at 0 degrees Celsius, but its boiling point will be 100 degrees Celsius. All right, question number 34 is which process causes water droplets to form on a glass of cold iced tea on a hot summer day? And this is due to condensation. So condensation is the correct answer. Now for question number 35, it says the diagram shows a pot of boiling water. The pot X is made of copper and the handle Y is made of wood. And so if copper is X and wood and the handle is made up of wood, then it says which row describes the properties of X and Y, which makes them suitable for their functions. Again, you will be able to hold the handle and you will not get burned. That means heat is not transferred through the handle, but heat is transferred through the pot itself. So therefore, X, which is the pot, must be a good conductor, and Y must be a good insulator. So let's look at the option here, and this option is B. X is a good conductor, while Y, which is the handle, is a good insulator. Okay, great. Let's go to question number 30. I think this is 36 or 7, I think. Yeah, 36, right. So it's a laboratory technician uses a force of 23 newtons. So this is our force, 23 newtons, to push a trolley a distance of 3 meters. You're pushing a distance of 3 meters across a laboratory preparatory room. And so it asks us now, what is the work done? We want to find work done by the laboratory technician. Now remember that work is equal to force times distance, which is FD. And so to find the work, so therefore work is equal to force, which is 23 newtons, multiplied by the distance, which is 3 meters. So therefore 23 multiplied by 3, that gives us 69, and this is 69 Newton meter, and 1 Newton meter is the same thing as a joule, so this could also be 69 joules. Okay, 69 joules. Okay, great. So let's see what our answer is, and 69, which is D, absolutely. All right, so let's highlight this, 69 joules. All right, let's now go to the next question real quick. It says which part is the wavelength? And the wavelength is the distance between two equal parts on a wave. And so let's see if I could even label the ones that are correct right here. All right, and so A is the distance between two equal parts. So yes, A is the wavelength. So A will be our answer. Let me just put wavelength right here. All right, it is the distance between two equal parts. And so what I want to point out right here, is that the highest point is called the crest. And so between two crests, two consecutive crests, is definitely a wavelength. The depth, which is called the trough. All right. And so B will represent what they call the amplitude. And amplitude is the height from the undisturbed position, all right, of a crest or the depth of a trough. So this could also be placed right here as well. So I must draw a line right here to show the amplitude right here. I'm also going to label it B as well. So this is also an amplitude, okay, which is B. So let's label that B. All right. And then for C is just pretty much half of a wavelength. And D will be 2 times A, which is twice the amplitude, because notice start from here to all the way down here. So this is twice the amplitude. All right. So again, option A is our wavelength. So A is our correct answer. Now let's go to question number 38. And question number 38 says Tony applies a turning action to the cap of a bottle to open it. And so if we're going to open this, it says which simple machine does the bottle and cap represents? And this will be a type of a screw. All right, so number 39. It says Mary uses a nut cracker to crack open a walnut. And if she's going to use this nut cracker to open this walnut, then I want to point out something to you real quick so we can remember what class of lever it is, which is asking right here, which class of lever is a nutcracker. Now remember, the turn will take place right here. You can see that little joint. So right here will be our fulcrum. In the middle, which will be the load, which is the walnut itself. So that's the load. And the hand, which will represent the effort. That's where it will press on, or the input force, which is the effort. And so if you remember flea, right? Remember the flea. A matter of fact, this even spelled flea. If the load is in the middle, right? Think about it, right? Flea, fulcrum in the middle, load in the middle. And so here we have a second class lever. Okay, so if the load is in the middle, it is a what? Second class lever. All right, just to make a note of that. So this is a second class lever. The load is in the middle. So again, FLE. If the fulcrum is in the middle, is a first class. If the load is in the middle, is the second class. And if the effort is in the middle, it is a third class. Remember, flea, just as it's spelled right there. Okay, so fulcrum in the middle, first class. Load in the middle, second class. Effort in the middle, third class. All right, and so number 40, which is the last question, is a nuclear energy. Is the energy in the nucleus of an atom. Nuclear reaction release heat energy, which is used to turn turbines to generate electricity. Here it asks, what is a disadvantage of using nuclear energy? Is a clean energy cause no air pollution, which is not true. Reliable, and so this is a motherfucker, right? It says looking for a disadvantage. So B says reliable and constant power generation, which is an advantage, of course. All right, and C is a small amount of fuel produced. Produces a large amount of energy. You're not using fuel, all right? Or if you want to use fuel to probably do other stuff before you start do the radioactive process, then yes, you may use a little bit of energy or fuel, all right? And so waste will remain toxic for a very long period of time or period after use. So this is a disadvantage. The rest will be advantageous properties of using nuclear energy. All right, so again, this is the end of another review, and I will see you again shortly. Please do well on the examination. Until then, take care.